You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center. We fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our second half. I got Brian Armstead calling all the way from the Great White North up there. I think it's cold up there. Anyway, good morning, Brian. How are we doing up there in Maryland?
I'm doing great, James
is
and
it
Anna
cold?
Marie. How are you guys doing?
Fine. Is it cold up there? Because it's beautifully warm here today, which is wonderful.
Well, it's cold right now, but we're supposed to get up to 55 degrees today. So
Wow.
a little rain later in the afternoon,
yeah.
but overall a very pleasant winter day. So,
Well, good.
Take them as we can get them.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Good
Now,
day to go. Good day to go driving before the rain hits.
Now, tell me about this 28. You're going to be reviewing the 2018 Platinum Expedition, and I bet Ford has put a lot of thought into this vehicle. I bet.
Well, when you think of the Expedition, you think of previous generations, and for me personally, it just looked like an oversized Explorer. That just the proportions of the previous generation for me just did not do a whole lot to say, hey, Brian. Just did not do a whole lot to say, hey, Brian, I'm excited about driving this vehicle. I'm excited about, reporting on it. Just didn't get it for me. Much like the Excursion, which was the V10 monster that they put out in the early 2000s. I mean, come on. The SUV war, in my estimation, at that time, had gotten a little out of control. Well, I fast forward to 2018, and I still think the SUV war is a little out of control. But if the 2018 Expedition Platinum is any indication of where it's going, then I'm okay with it. I am totally okay with it.
Great.
First of all, you can get several trim levels in the Expedition. The base Expedition comes in at a mere $51,695. The Expedition Max comes in at $54,385, and of course, as you go up the pay scale here, you get more features. The Expedition Limited, $62,585, and the Expedition Platinum, $72,710. Now, above the Expedition Platinum is the Expedition Platinum Max. I do not have the price of that. But rest assured, it's probably another $3,000-$4,000 over the $72,710 that this Expedition Platinum cost. And for your $73,000, and that does not include the destination charge, which is probably another $1,000 or so. You get a vehicle that can seat up to 8 people.
Okay.
Offers a 1,840-pound payload. Can tow 9,300 pounds with 400 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque, nearly 500 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to pull trees down behind your house, James.
Yeah.
I mean, you could drag your beehive, your bee house for about 400 miles with that kind of power.
What? Now, this sounds like it sounds like it's. I'm betting it's probably got the same drivetrain as the EcoBoost. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Well, this is yes, absolutely. And I was going to get into it. It's a 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost. Now, most people would say, "Come on, a 6-cylinder in a Ford F-150 or a Platinum Expedition? No, I'm not having that.
It will fly,
James. I got to tell you, man. You put your foot in this sucker and it hauls.
I know.
It really. You're like, is this a V6? Well, Ford accomplishes V8-like performance by using turbocharging. And creative fuel injection, creative engine port design, intake port, exhaust port. They really polish these engines up right to get maximum airflow into the engine, maximum airflow out of the engine through exhaust.
Right.
Very efficient. 17 miles per gallon city, 24 miles per gallon highway. This in a vehicle that weighs more than 6,000 pounds. It's huge.
Wow.
It's huge. But it's so impressive. My test vehicle was outfitted in ruby red metallic. It's an optional
love that color. I love that
package.
color. I love that color. I know what you're talking about. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah, 22-inch polished aluminum wheels, which are just stunning to look at. And when you walk up to this thing, you're like, OMG, I get to drive this for a week. You climb inside. You sit high because it's an SUV. You look at the gauge cluster, which is configurable. So if you want a boost gauge up in the gauge cluster, you can put it there. If you don't want a boost gauge and you want engine oil temperature, you can put it there. You can select up to 4 different gauges in addition to your speedometer and tachometer
All right.
to find out what's going on inside your Platinum, inside of any expedition, but inside your expedition. It's really, really cool. You have the Microsoft Sync Telematics, which is vastly improved over the early iterations. You know, it talks to you. It tells you where to go. It can make reservations for you. It can read your email. I mean, it can do all kinds of really cool 2018, you know, connected type of things. So that's not a, you know, everybody has some kind of feature now where you're connected, and that's not anything that's really exclusive with the Ford Expedition. But it works very, very well in this vehicle. The panoramic roof is panoramic. I mean, this stuff covers just about the entire roof, and it's got a power sunshade on it. You've got adaptive cruise control with stop and go. You've got all kinds of safety features. The most important one, James, in this Expedition Platinum, and in any vehicle these days, is the federally mandated roll stability control. I know that you, as a libertarian, are not, you know, you're not big on government intervention, but there's
Free market.
certain things. The free market.
Yeah, the free market, and
things
they're asking for it. People want that safety. They do. They want that in their car.
Well, you know, a lot of times they don't, James. I mean, you look at the helmet battle that's been going on for ages.
True.
You know, why would you want to roll down the street with your melon bouncing down the highway? I don't get it.
It's like we were talking earlier. Yeah, it's your choice. If you want to be stupid. But smart people don't do that. I agree. Yes.
Well, you know, there are a lot of dumb people out there. Look at all the folks that don't put their seatbelts on in the back seat.
I agree. Yes. Yeah.
Why is that? Is there some magic force field that's going to keep you from being projected through the window or ejected out the back hatch? No.
I haven't figured it out yet.
You're going to go flying.
Yes, you will.
The laws of physics are absolute. You will go flying.
They don't change.
And, you know, this is not Southwest Airlines. Nobody's going to hand you a bag of peanuts on your way down to the ground.
No, they're not. No, they are not. They sure are not. Now back to this engine now. Okay, this thing has more torque. I know a lot about the EcoBoost that's in the trucks because I love working on them. They're fantastic. They got the V8 power. They will pull more than a Hemi. They have more torque than a Dodge Hemi, if I'm understanding correctly. I may be wrong. Well, but I think I'm right on that.
I don't have the Hemi figures in front of me, but you have to understand that the Hemi has a different mission.
It does. It has a completely different mission. But if you're going to tow, if you're going to tow, or you're going to be, because they use these as work trucks, the engines in the Platinum F-150, but then this Expedition, I know it's a bulletproof engine. What I've seen from 2011 to 2016, what I've seen on these engines, they're darn good. They're fantastic.
Well, with the exception of the 5.4 liter Triton V8.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know, Ford has always built some pretty darn good engines. I mean, I think back to the, you know, the venerable 302. I mean, who didn't want a 302 back in the day?
Everybody wanted a 302. Yes, everybody.
You know, which the 302 cubic inches is roughly 5 liters. I mean, or is the 350 5 liters?
No, the 302 is 5 liters. 350 is 5.7.
Okay, so I mean, you know, the Mustang V8s with the 5.0. Everybody wanted a 5.0, you know, when we finally figured out what 5 liters was, you know.
But they're great engines. I mean, I was really skeptical at first about the V6 3.5 twin turbo, but after,
who wasn't?
Everybody was. I mean, we were hearing all these horror stories about intake valves getting carbon buildup on them. Man, but if you use good oil and use good fuel and change your oil more often like you're supposed to, these things are monsters. They will pull. They have power. They have, like you said, 24, 25 miles to a gallon on the highway, 17 in town on a V6. And it will pull my tiny house, like you said. It will pull it like nothing. I mean, I got a Chevy that struggles to pull that thing, where this one, what you're talking about with that 3.5 twin turbo, is incredible. It's got lots of torque,
And you can pull it, and with the proper interior configuration, and I'm not sure it's available in the Platinum, you can put 8 people in a vehicle comfortably. Wow. And you have all kinds of USB ports. I believe there are over 11 USB ports in this vehicle. You've got Bang & Olufsen premium audio, blind spot system, one-touch up and down windows, connectivity. You can do, internet inside the car. It's a hotspot, ventilated front seats, multi-contour seats with active motion, which means they give you a good old massage, power adjustable pedals, power folding third row seat, which is really cool because you can fold it down and you can raise it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So when you fold down rows 2 and 3, you literally could put a kayak.
You can put a 4x8 sheet of plywood back there, probably.
Yeah, you know, and if you drive to Florida oftentimes and you don't want to spend money for a hotel, get yourself a porta potty and put an airbed in the back of this Expedition, and you've got yourself a Holiday Inn on wheels. I mean,
that's all right.
You've got your internet there. I mean, you know, you can get a jug of water and a potty, and you're good to go.
Hey, that might be
that might sound a bit extreme, but I mean, a lot of people enjoy sleeping with the windows open and kind of camping outdoors.
Wow, it does.
I just don't know. I just don't have enough good things to say, which is rare for me when it comes to vehicles this large. But it's impressive. Every square inch of this vehicle is impressive. Now, from a safety standpoint, I want you to think about this for a second, James.
All right.
When you pop the hood and you look at that tiny 3.5-liter V6, now think about it, folks. 3.5 liters is less than 4 bottles of Pepsi that you buy at 7-Eleven.
That's true.
In terms of size, 4 1-liter bottles of Pepsi, if you stack them all together, the engine block in this car would be smaller than that.
Correct.
Open the hood, take a tape measure from the front bumper where it would be. You have to, of course, be up in the air. You take it straight up to where the front bumper starts, to where the engine begins, 35.5 inches.
That's a little protection in case you get into a head-on collision, too.
That's a lot of protection if you get into a head-on collision. You can crash this thing head-on, and the vehicle will not be totaled in a lot of instances because if you have a low-speed head-on collision, the engine's not going to be impacted.
That's true, yeah. I didn't think about that till you mentioned it, but I didn't think about that being a safety feature, but that does.
Absolutely.
That is a good thing.
Absolutely, it is a safety feature. It's got all the safety, fenders built in. I mean, SUVs and pickups formerly did not have to meet the same standards of automobiles.
That's right, yes.
They still don't have to meet the same exact standards, but manufacturers, and Ford's always been a safety leader. I mean, the Taurus back in the day was an incredibly safe car especially for young people. It's just they do safety now in SUVs. It has roll stability control. We were talking about the whole government thing. The government mandates, electronic stability control. And that's one of the, like seatbelts. It's one of the things that, hey, it's a good thing to mandate, in a vehicle because it's all about safety. You can go to Ford.com for more details. I know I got about 45 seconds left. But, I guess I do gush a lot about vehicles, but the vehicles these days are so good.
Oh, they are.
It's hard not to gush about this Ford Platinum Expedition.
Well,
I'm going to be headed to Detroit this weekend for the auto show.
Good.
So next Thursday, I'll do a roundup of what I saw that was exciting at the auto show, and I'm sure we got some good stuff to talk about on next Thursday morning.
I'm looking forward to that because there's a lot of stuff coming out right now. And I want to ask on this Expedition, does it have the aluminum body panels like the Ford F-150s have on this 2018?
I do not have that information right in front of me. I don't have the press.
I was very impressed with the aluminum. At first I thought I was going to be scared of it, whatever, but no, they seem to they can be tapped and they don't seem to dent quite as easy as the metal. I was real proud.
Well, not according to the Chevrolet commercials where they're gouging holes in it.
Oh, well, what can I say? All right, we got to go. I'll talk to you later there. Thank you so much for calling, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye now.